Today we are going to be talking about division with using our base 10 blocks for regrouping. This lesson is particularly helpful for students if they have a hard time memorizing their multiplication facts and having a hard time understanding all the steps needed to do like long division per se. So first things first, we have, for this lesson we are only going to need the rods and the units. Our units represent 1 and our rod is made up of 10 units, so this is a base 10. So our first problem we're going to look at is 88 divided by 4. So first we need to represent the number that's inside the house, which is 88, which would be 8 rods, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 8 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we have 88 in front of us. And our problem is telling us that we need to divide them in 4 equal groups. Now, if you have students who are more visual learners, it'll be helpful to draw the 4 circles if you need it. But for this instance, we're just going to divide them up into 4 groups. You always start with the largest unit. If you're dividing 3-digit numbers, then you would have a flat and you would begin with those. But for these problems, we're just going to stick with the rods and the units. So we're going to start with our rods. And we're going to divide them up into 4 groups because that is our divisor. Okay, so these are our 4 groups. Now we need to evenly distribute the rest of our rods. Okay, so now we have all of our rods distributed and there's 20 in each group. Now we move on to the units. And we go and place 1 in each until they are all given out evenly. Okay, so now we have 4 groups with all of our manipulatives distributed. In one group, we have 10, 20, 21, and 22. So, because we can look at that and determine that 88 divided by 4 is 22. Pretty simple. They do get a little bit more complicated, but I'm going to show you one more of those before we move on. The next one we're going to look at is 96 divided by 3. So, again, we need to represent the 96 with our rods. We always use a number in the house. That's one thing to really stress. So let's go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. So we have 90 rods, and we need 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, we are making 3 groups, so we need to we start with the highest, which is our rods. We need to make 3 groups. And since I still have some rods left over, we're going to continue to distribute them until they're all gone. And now our units. 3, 4, 5, 6. So here's our 3 groups of 90 with 96 total. And in each group we have 10, 20, 30, 31, 32. So 96 divided by 3 is 32. Not difficult. If students are struggling with the base 10 blocks, there are the regular square manipulatives. But when you have high numbers that go into the 80s or 90s, that's a lot of counting. So this next problem we're going to do is going to be a little differently. It's going to be 78 divided by 6. So first we're going to represent our 78, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and our 8 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 78. Now we're going to distribute it, like we've been doing, into groups of 6. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let me move them over so you can see all of them. But I have a problem. I have 6 groups right here, but I have 1 left over. I can't distribute this one into a group because all of my groups need to be as equal as possible. So instead of having this rod, we know that the rod is 10 units. So we're going to trade it out for 10 units. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 units equals 1 rod. So we can do away with this rod. We still have the same amount, but now we have units. Now we can distribute the units into a group to show our division problem. That can be another difficult task, is remembering to trade out the base 10 for 10 actual units so we can divide it evenly. Everything's divided out. We had 78 to begin with, and we put them into 6 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there are 10, 1, 2, 3, 13 in each group. So 78 divided by 6 is 13. I'll do one more of those so y'all can see the trading out and stuff. Our next problem is going to be 84 divided by 3. So let's get our 84 rods. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And our 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 3 groups. 2, 3. And I have enough to distribute them again. But this time, I have 2 rods left over. I have my 3 groups, but there's not enough to give another rod into each group. So again, we need to trade them out. Since I have 2 rods I'm trading out this time, I'm going to need 20 units instead of just 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 10 for the first rod. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 for the second rod. Okay. Now I have all my blocks and I need to distribute them to the group. Now, some students might realize the pattern that I have a lot of blocks here. I only have 3 groups, so I can distribute 2 at a time, but that's getting a little advanced. If students want to distribute 1 at a time, they can take their time. We're not in any rush. I lost a unit somewhere. We'll add another unit. Okay, so I had my 84. They have all been distributed evenly. I have my 3 groups, and in each 3 group there's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So 84 divided by 3 is 28. Now I'm going to show you one more. These are done the exact same way, except these ones have remainders. This is where I know some people can get confused because division, you're always telling them that they need to divide them up into the groups evenly. But now all of a sudden they can't because there's not enough. So we're going to look at 81 divided by 6. Again, start with the ones in the house. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and only one little unit. I need 6 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I have 2 rods left over, but I have 6 groups, so I need to change them out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Double count them so I don't mess up like last time. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, there's for 1 rod, and I'm going to get 10 more. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so now I have my 81 broken down into 6 groups with my units trading out for the 2 base 10 blocks that cannot be distributed evenly. And I'll go ahead and give them out as evenly as possible, giving 1 to each group, 2 if you notice that there's a little pattern. Okay, so here's where the problem lies. All my blocks are distributed, but I have these 3 left over. Using base 10 blocks is really beneficial, especially when you're teaching remainders, because students can actually see there's a remainder. These 3 don't go anywhere. So I have my 6 groups. In one group, there's 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 blocks. So when you write it, you'll write your 13 with your R3. So there is 13 with a remainder of 3. Now, like I said, some students might need the circle because having them placed just like this can be a little confusing because you cannot see the definite outlines. Everything's going to be different per student, but base 10 blocks are very beneficial when it comes to dividing. That way, it helps with word problems also, because when they talk about distributing something out or giving an item to each friend, they know, okay, I am distributing, I'm giving them out, just like we give out our base 10 blocks. So, just an extra tool to help out some division problems.